Kids are in bed. The kids are in bed. Welcome everybody to episode 50 of The Kids Are in Bed. I'm Tim Severson, and I am alone tonight. And the reason for that is Jenni. Well, there's not really a good way to say it. I suppose. She's in Cincinnati. She had to go there for work. And, yeah. So, if you were tuning in for Jenni, my apologies. I know your disappointment. I'm not looking forward to editing this podcast because seeing her for an hour is kind of makes it really easy for me. So this is just going to be me. So I'm going to try to make this really easy to edit and just so I can say that there was an episode 50 and it came on time, because that's something I've anchored myself to. And well, I guess I'm just trying to be consistent with producing the content. So here we are. It's kind of like when Garth gets left to host the show alone unexpectedly, and he doesn't know what to do.
I'm having a good time. Not.
You ever see that scene in Scanners when that dude's head blew up?
Very much feel that energy right now. No, after so we recorded the podcast on Tuesday night last week, and on Wednesday in the afternoon, I had run some errands and was running around the house, cleaning up, and realized that I was freezing, which was confusing because I was still wearing my jacket. And then I was realizing that my daughter Clementine had been sick for a few days, and I was on that same road. And so I sat down to get the last week's podcast up and crashed out after that. And Jenni was out at a Gopher women's basketball game that night, and so it was just me and the kids. I started getting back spasms. I mean, when I tell you, I could feel it up in my jaw, and it would go down and into my shoulder blades, all the way down to my ankles. And I could not find a position to relieve the tension in any way, shape, or form. And so I was rolling around and moaning, and my kids were just kept being like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, "No, I can't." Like, it wasn't that the pain was so aggressive, but it was like that all-consuming, like, just couldn't think about anything else. And so it was like, and then I was talking to Jenni on her way home, and I was just like, I couldn't function. She's like, "Why don't you just like get in the bath or something?" And I was like, "That's a good idea." I mean, we have a hot tub too, for God's sakes. And so, yeah. So once I got in warm water, then I loosened up. Then I was just sick. So then I got sick, and I haven't functioned for probably a good 4 days. So you can probably hear that. But I felt like the show must go on, right? And I doubt this will be very long, but it's here. The episode existed. And it's awkward. It's very, Very awkward. Let's just steer into it. Just sit with it for a second. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. There it is. It's all right. It's all right. You're not the one sitting in your living room talking to a cell phone, so I don't know what you're awkward about. If you're watching this anywhere near the date it came out, which is going to be the 29th of January, I wrote a new essay called Spilled Milk. You could go watch it right now. I think it's 8 minutes and 37 seconds long. It's just scrolling text and my voice and some sound effects. I had a lot of fun putting this one together. It really took me a long time to post. I think it was mostly like the subject matter. I don't know. I think sometimes it probably feels like I write about the same stuff a lot, or maybe that's how I feel. But I'm trying to just kind of clear my head of some thoughts, and maybe some new good stuff will come out. But I was actually really proud of this one, and I hope anybody who comes across it enjoys it. I had fun. I had fun writing it, but it was also kind of a. I didn't know exactly what to turn it into. If it needed to be a longer piece, or if I just wanted to leave it kind of short and slightly underfinished. And I left it short to spend a little more time to produce up the recording. So it was fun, and I added sound effects, and I had a good time doing it. I did, unfortunately, much like with my big ideas with cooking or baking, I had this this idea that I could use Photoshop and generative AI to, like, I don't know, create like images to go along with it somehow. And in my head, it was like, oh, it was like this really artistic, cool thing. But I don't know how to use Photoshop. And so there are a lot of buttons and a lot of different things to do. And so it took me a long time to even generate a single image. And then I got too consumed with that. So I decided to pull the plug on that. So it's just scrolling text, but check it out if you have 8 minutes and 37. I just I posted on Facebook that you could right before bed throw it on, and worst case you're asleep in 8 minutes and 37 seconds or less, right? So could work. I think this is the best recording I've done, so the audio might be soothing. I know my voice sounds so amazing right now, velvety, smooth. I think I would describe it as, but yeah, check it out. Yeah, I mentioned that I have a hot tub. I should have gotten in it, but I was being a moron because my water was getting low, and I don't have a way. So if anybody watching this has a recommendation, in the winter in Minnesota, and in my house. Now, I am also saying this knowing fully that somebody could walk in here and tell me the exact opposite. And I mean, walk into my own home, having never set foot in here, and probably solve this for me very easily. So maybe if you're watching this and you think I know what you should do, hit me up, because I have this problem, and it's really not a problem, right? It's just an inconvenience. But in the winter, well, in the summer when I fill my hot tub, I fill it from my outside where my hose is, and so it's before it comes into the house, so doesn't go through the water softener or the hot water heater. And in Minnesota, but especially in Rogers, we have a lot of minerals in our soil and a lot of iron, and and so when I fill up from the outside hose and get my chemicals going, perfect, works every time. But as soon as I put any water in from my hot water heater, my chemicals go nuts. So anyways, I was trying to avoid that nightmare by not getting in the hot tub, which I ended up trying to fix while I was still sick, which, again, really, really smart thinking. But it when I do it, it just upends my chemicals and the water gets all out of whack. So I've been dealing with that. I don't know why I'm telling you that. I said hot tub earlier, and I think I'm just trying to make it seem like this is worth doing. We've started Oscars around the corner. I do anticipate that we will do another Oscar special, our second annual. We have begun watching the Best Picture winners that we have available to us on our in-home streaming services. So far, we have seen Emilia Perez, Conclave, and Wicked. I'm not going to talk about them. Jenny doesn't know that I'm doing this. I am completely rogue on this one. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna talk about them. I'm just letting you know to save the date for whenever the Oscars are. We're probably gonna do another Oscars show. So put that very specific information in your calendar, and you won't miss it. So we've seen those, but I do want to talk about one, and I don't think Jenny will mind if I talk about this. We watched A Real Pain, which is written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg from The Social Network, and it is, right off the jump, I will just say, of the movies I just listed, it is my favorite of all of those. I would very, very much recommend it. I think it's a really good movie, just about like personality dynamics and relationship dynamics, I suppose, too. But it's Jesse Eisenberg's character is traveling to Poland with his cousin, who is played by Kieran Culkin. And he is nominated for Best Supporting Actor. And I believe the movie has another nomination, but I can't remember which for. I don't think Jesse Eisenberg got nominated, though. Jenny would know this information. She told me this information, I think, and I forgot it. So that's on me. Anyways, they are traveling to Poland to visit their grandmother's home from when she lived there up until World War II. And she was a Holocaust survivor. And so they were just going to kind of trace back their family roots. They had never been there, so they were just going to visit her original home. And Jesse Eisenberg is a very type A analytical guy, so he's planned the trip, and Benji, and as all he contributes is, I think he had the weed sent to the hotel that they go to in Poland, but they go on with a tour group, and it's and of course it's led by, an Oxford trained guy who knows all about Poland and the Jewish religion. And then Jennifer Grey's in the tour. She plays a single woman who's on the tour, and I didn't know it was her. It took until, man, it might have been 3/4 of the movie. But as soon as Jenni told me, then all I could see was her walk, because she looked like the way she was walking. It's how she walks, right? But it looks like baby walking across the resort and Dirty Dancing, which was great. And then there's like an older couple and a Rwandan refugee who's on the tour as well. So it's just kind of about their experience in Boston and that history as the backdrop. And but it's a very, very insightful movie, very moving, very funny, but definitely sad, right? Holocaust, innately sad, so you can't really get around that. But it's not like a bummer. I wouldn't call it a bummer of a movie. It's rewatchable. I look forward to it. I recognized myself in the in the movie, the two personalities of Jesse Eisenberg's character and Kieran Culkin's character are very left brain, right brain kind of situation. And so some of the conversations that they have are situations that they find themselves in.
She's walking alone. We should go talk to her.
We just met her.
Yeah, she's got this, like, deep sadness behind her eyes,
She does?
Yeah, you didn't notice that?
During the introductions? No.
I think we should check on her.
Benji, maybe she wants to be alone.
Sorry. No one wants to be alone, Dave. Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
I've had in my head, like, I know the characters because they are my characters. So it was a very introspective watch for me, I suppose. So I shouldn't put that on everybody that you will have the same experience. Jenni certainly didn't, but she also enjoyed it. So yeah, I don't know exactly what she took from it. I'm not going to try to speak for her on that, but she also enjoyed it. So even if you're not into anything I just said, Jenni would have also voiced her approval of the movie in her own intelligent, beautiful, smart, funny words, like she usually does. So there's that. Pardon me. Did I tell you I was sick? A real pain. Check it out or don't. But we'll keep rounding up the Oscars, and then we'll find out some way to tell you who's going to win. Jenni can tell you everything that's going to happen. She'll know right away. But we'll give you our reactions to the movies and tell you what to watch and not, or what we think, and then you can decide if you agree with us or not. And then if you ever want to, you can always comment and tell us, or send us a message and tell us, or whatever that is. If you want to, you don't have to. We're gonna keep doing this regardless, or I am anyways. Clearly nothing's gonna stop me. I'm in sweatpants. You should know that. Okay, last thing. This is Jenni's been saying. She told the kids I'm into illumination or lighting lately. She got me a Hue light strip a long time ago, and as we've discussed on this show, recently we've pushed our bed to the center of our bedroom to varying reviews across those we've surveyed personally. And I put the light strip on the back of the bed because it just seemed like a good spot for him to go. And so then I was like, well, I should just get a couple more hue lights in here so that I can, set it up so that when I wake up now, the lights do a sunrise from 6 to 6:30. It's a great way to wake up. It goes from like a really soft blue and then it just like slowly gets golden. I recommend if you have a hue lighting system to give that a try, or any smart bulb that is capable of doing that I don't know about. You should try it. It's a fine way to wake up. But I've found on a sale on Amazon these under cabinet lights, and I had been thinking about them, so obviously that's why they showed up in my algorithm. And so I've been really, really very excited every time I go into my kitchen because they go underneath and they're rechargeable. So we're reserving our judgment on whether or not the lights are going to be a full success, given how often we need to take them down and charge them. But they're just little strips. I mean, nothing. But they do an awesome job. I'll take a video after so you can see what I'm talking about. But they have sensors, so when you walk in, they just kind of click on when you walk in. And I don't know if like at night, I don't have to turn on the lights like, when it's like winding down, and then you sit down and your wife's in Cincinnati and you've really done it all day long. You sit down and then somebody's like, can I have some water? And you're just like, yeah, yep, that's about right. One of those ones, and you don't want to go turn on the lights again because, I don't know, it seems like a lot of work. And then you just go and the lights turn on for you. And it sounds fancy, doesn't it? But it was $50, 53 and change. Now there was like a 50% off or something, or 30% off, but still, for $50, it feels like luxury. There are things like this that people laugh at me for. But I do think now, despite, I know it's hard to take me seriously on this because I'm going to say that it's about, keeping you happy. But I think the thing is that I know I have been sad for a long time, but I think the trick that's kept me going is that you got to give yourself treats like that. And you got to find a way to give yourself a little extra, and I think censored under cabinet lights, they'll do the trick. Oh, speaking of tricks. Okay, last one. And then I'm out of here, I promise. We had I don't know that we talked about the party, but I don't think we talked about this specifically. So for the white party that we had for New Year's, for Jenni's family's Christmas, when they came here, I had a very specific attire that I wanted to wear. I think I showed a picture of it, turtleneck and a white robe. But when Jenni went to go find one on Amazon or on Target, they didn't have men's medium size, and that's right. And so she ended up getting me a women's, and it fits great. But gentlemen in the crowd, did you know that women's robes have a secret strap? That it's not the big thick one that you have to tie around, in front. There's a little one. It's like a shoelace size, and it's on the inside, and you tie it over here on the side, and then you don't have to tie the whole thing. I am not understanding why that isn't a universal robe thing. Why don't I know about this? Have I just gotten nothing but cheap robes, or I don't, I mean, like, it seems like the purpose is to help keep everything covered. And I don't know why. Like, it seems like if you were going to have an extra strap, an extra safety, it would be for the men, right? Like, if I think it's universally agreed, right? Like, if a man and a woman are walking towards you and they're both wearing robes, universally, if one must open, we want it to be the woman's, right? I think everybody, like, regardless of, this has nothing to do with sexuality. I think just aesthetics, right? Right? I mean, right? I don't know. Seems silly. But now it's my robe. So now I'm wearing a women's medium robe. It sounded good in my head, but it really doesn't sound as great out loud. Seems like a good spot to end. Well, if you made it this far and your last name isn't Severson, good for you. I can't imagine. Thank you for being here. Like, comment, subscribe. Helps out. We're at 35. I need a lot more before I can start pretending to make money on this venture. So tell your friends and neighbors. I'm going to go check on the kids. See you next week, everybody.